More about Bass Smart TV, so make sure you share now subscribe to my for video because of social media and so I say pensing. Make sure you share with them.
The Asasi, the statement that Asasi issued is saying that we didn't buy the property from the state.
But nobody has said that.
But I mean, you sought to give the impression by mentioning Asasi and Ochredako and all of that as part of state capture. You see,
I'm saying that where they are, their land is part of the state capture.
Yes, but
it's a state land.
Yes, but they didn't buy it from the states.
Yeah, I put out all those details. Remember last
so
week
you cannot use them as an example of state capture.
This expose was that look, these lands that have been listed by the Judicial Service of Ghana, that's where Asasi Radio is.
Sammy. Anybody.
And it's also not true what the lands minister said that is President Mahama who sold the lands.
If that is not your objective, then you have to be careful, because anybody listening to you will come away with the impression that Asasi has used his whatever position Ochredako and his people have to take state land.
No,
anybody listening to you. And indeed, first when you started this thing last week, that's what I also thought.
That's the impression he.
That's the impression you give.
But
because now,
I made it clear
one second, because you've even gone into Lily Homes and found out but the original person who bought the land.
No, I talked about it. Mr. Banahen.
So if Asasi, the company, bought the land from a private person,
they're renting. Asasi claim they're actually renting.
Even if they bought the land from a private person, why do you use? And you said the land was sold in 2006.
Yeah.
And they bought it from this person who bought the land in 2006.
But there's a current court case where the Judicial Service
I'm coming to that.
Trying to reclaim all those.
So you see, the impression that Asasi has used some connection with the state to capture state land.
So Asasi said that the land legal standing Lily Homes Limited obtained the property through a legitimate assignment of interest from Mr. Banahine with the Land Commission consent dated 15th of July 2020 and has held the property lawfully and without any legal
So clearly, the impression
I put out all of this.
The impression that Asasi, Ochredako and his people have used their connections to take state land is not true.
Okay.
And if anybody comes away with that impression, that is what Asasi sought to clarify. They bought it from a private individual who had bought the land in 2006.
Okay.
Now, the thing is this. So Asasi really has not been engaged in a state capture. But the thing is this. Today we are being told that all that land, all that area were part of the land for the Judicial Service.
Yeah.
And so they've gone to court to try and get their land back.
Yeah.
Okay.
They said those sales were unconstitutional.
No. But you know, a small thing, I mean, it's small. But I'm saying this land, particularly this one that you are highlighting on number 7, was sold in 2006. Why has the Judicial Service waited until now?
You know, sometimes they don't know. They don't even know that it's been sold. Their judges will be invested.
They don't know the legal standing of the land.
No. You say your land that belongs to you is being sold, and you don't know about it.
Yes. It's happening all over the place.
And you see, in the same Judicial Service, they provide us that when you sit on your rights for a certain time, you lose those rights. So, for me, it is curious. I'm not blaming them. It's just curious to me that since 2006, you saw somebody putting up a building on your land. And you know, the building you can't hide.
And
you've waited from 2006. When was this rate issued? From 2006
27 February
to 2024. You are now going to court to vindicate your rights. I don't know how appropriate it is. But be that as it may, they've listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 properties. Samuel Okudzeto has highlighted on number 7 because of Asasi. But I've shown you clearly that Asasi has not engaged in any purchase of land from the state. They bought it from a private individual. But you see, the other question is the other properties, who are in them? Because Asasi, in their response, has said that the property next to them was given by President Mahama to some people. And they've named the former electoral commissioner as the person who's staying in the next property.
Yeah.
So, and it was sold to her by President Mahama, given to her by President Mahama, and she's built a house and she's living there. So, it buttresses the point that all of this...
I didn't see the former electoral commissioner in that statement. I don't know where you're getting this information.
So, do you know who lives next door?
Yes, I'm still
Okay,
digging.
I'm pressed with time. They're actually giving me pressure.
I'm still digging.
Let me just conclude. So Asasi Radio has also named that sitting electoral commissioner was allocated the land by President Mahama. And so my point is,
well, let's be careful about city electoral commission.
Well, but that's what they've stated. I'm just telling you what.
He said that land was subsequently divided and sold under President John Dramani Mahama to private persons, and the state bungalow on it was completely pulled down.
But we see
the only name they mentioned, they said Reverend
Canon, Engineer William.
Listen, Samuel Okudzeto, let me tell you this today when you live here, because the land is there. We know where Asasi is. You said
the bungalow is currently occupied by Professor Ahmed Nuru Zakaria. So let's be careful.
No. Don't worry.
You're mentioning a name that's not in the Asasi statement.
No. I'm saying it will be so easy to check who occupies the land next door to Asasi.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
you can say that, but don't say that Asasi has mentioned a name, which is not in the statement.
I'm saying to you on authority that Asasi has mentioned.
It's not here. It's not here.
Yes,
it's not here.
It's not in the statement.
I'm saying I haven't mentioned this statement. I'm saying that Asasi too.
Okay.
They are in as part of their explanation. I mean, it's not everything that they put on the paper. They've mentioned to some of us.
Okay.
So I'm saying just verify.
Okay.
Just verify who's living next door. They've named the electoral commission and that the land was given to her by Joma. I'm not saying it's wrong. I mean, there's nothing because she's living there peacefully.
Okay.
But it makes the point that this
and the question is that part of what the judicial service has gone to court on? Because so far the work I'm doing, I haven't seen the former EC's name looking at the bungalows that have been listed.
Yes, but you are talking about the sale of state land to individuals.
Oh, so you have moved away from the judicial service.
Gentlemen,
let me conclude. We have engaged in this sale of public land in pursuit of this policy of Accra redevelopment. And in the Accra redevelopment, they've also had a sub-policy that they call the infilling. So where the land is like 1 acre, they divide it into 4 or so and then sell it to individuals. Some of them may be politicians, some of them may be individuals. In fact, one of the people named is an individual person who fills oil also.
Yeah.
So let's have a comprehensive discussion on the matter. For me, the undervaluation
is the issue.
And if it's
the lack of due process.
Fine. But you will see that this undervaluation and due process has been engaged in party after party.
And should it continue?
So it should not. So let's have a bipartisan discussion. Don't try and pigeonhole it into one region because then you spoil your own argument.
Okay.
And then let's look at the valuation and then let's all decide that no, this valuation cannot be justified. And if there's a way we can get the people to refund
what we've lost.
As a way of going forward on a clean slate.
Okay. But shouldn't you also be concerned about
have something
how? But you bring us here, you let us talk.
You won't come.
I'm sorry.
We should also be concerned that matters have worsened now, and we should be concerned that it is still going on now with impunity.
Okay.
The first one, it's about the GIS, the Ghana International School land. And you are saying they bought the land in 1987.
Yeah, from the...
And how many years ago is that?
Almost 40, about 37 years.
Okay. I am sure that when you buy state property, there are terms and conditions.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that they bought the land next to the school 30 years ago. And it's still empty land. They don't even have a wall.
They haven't developed it.
They don't even have a wall around it. Because there are always terms and conditions as to what to do with the land.
They were using it as a car park.
We need to know if they have fulfilled the terms and conditions. Number two, the business about the office of the president involved in because of the police officer.
Yeah.
Well, because the office of the president was mentioned, and that's why the presidency obviously put up the statement that the office of the president knows nothing about that land and is whoever. But I take your point that if a gentleman at the office of the president has been mentioned in the matter, those then become subject to the police investigations. So I take your point that it might not be necessary to then talk about the integrity of that, because nobody's integrity. Because even if the police officer has bought the land, you just have to find out from the land commission why, or if they have sold the land and why they have. Because to have public land sitting in that place for 30 years, I can tell you, there will be an issue. Even when you buy land in these gated communities, there are terms and conditions as to when you should build and so on. But we don't know those matters yet. So the office of the president, they've done the right thing by asking for full police investigation into the matter. So they will get into.
But they shouldn't have cleared the officer.
But I've said to you that that part of the statement where the officer is, they're talking about his integrity, because all those things will be subject now to police investigation. So we'll leave it at that. But I'm happy that the office of the president has come out to clarify and also to invite the police to investigate this issue about the land. And obviously they're going to talk to land commission and all of that to get to the bottom of the matter. Now, the other ones that he talked about, the governor, that's the
Lawales, the 13, the famous 13.
You see, Annie, in this country, since 1999, we have had an official policy which is called the Accra Redevelopment Plan. We don't have time, but
this wasn't part of it. This is not redevelopment. This is not part of the Accra Redevelopment policy. This one was, I
thought it's Accra land.
Yeah, but this is different. This one was bought in 1947.
Which one? Which one?
From the La people, the Lawales. The Lawales.
Yeah.
And then in 2006, President Akufo used portions for the village buildings to host visiting heads of state.
Yeah.
Then in 2018, President Akufo said he's returning the lands to the original, the rest of it.
Okay.
But in the process, they reserved 12.5 acres, which they are now selling amongst politically exposed persons. So that one is different. It's not part of the Accra Redevelopment policy. There were no bungalows there and all of that.
But it's state land.
Yes, which were returned to the original owners.
No. The 12 acres that you are talking about is state land.
But the Accra Redevelopment policy is different. That one relates to where there are bungalows on an acre and you want to...
So even if it's state land and there's no bungalow, then it doesn't fall under
Accra Redevelopment policy doesn't apply to that.
Listen.
This one was a returned state land and they kept portions which they are sharing among themselves.
So once they kept it, it's state lands.
Yeah, they are state lands.
So it falls under the redevelopment plan. The redevelopment plan was in 1999.
Yeah.
And this sale that we are talking about is a couple of years ago.
Yes, this is.
So it falls under the Accra Redevelopment Plan. To say that because there was no building in it, so it's not state land. Who owns it? Okay. So the Accra Redevelopment Plan said that you have all kinds of acres of state land with some old bungalow sitting on it. And that's not the way to go because of the changes in Accra development and so on. So since 1999, you've had this policy where many of these lands have been given to all kinds of people for redevelopment. That is why you see the high-rise buildings at Roman Ridge, cantonments, all these housing estates, because it was thought that to have some 3-bedroom bungalow sitting on 2 acres today, those days they were jungle 80 years ago, but today is the middle of the city. So you give it to somebody, they would then do high rise that can contain maybe 100 people or 200 people. And that is what is done everywhere in the world. Any city, that's what is done. Now, as part of it, like I said, it's been sold to private individuals, it's been sold to politicians, it's been sold to all kinds of people. Both NPP, NDC, and all kinds of private people. My point of interest is that these lands should be properly valued.
Yeah.
When it's properly valued, then the state has gained from the sale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also advertise.
If it's not well properly valued, due process.
Due process, yeah.
But even if you don't advertise it, but that you sell it at a proper value, because somebody could say that Samuel Okudzeto, because of your work that you've done as so and so and so, there's this land there at 700,000. If you like it, you can have it. It's the valuation that worries me.
Yeah.
But you see, this matter of valuation, let's trace the valuation from 1999 to see the values that the Land Commission has put on these land sales, so we can have a comprehensive picture and then know what to do.
But the Land Ministry that's delaying this process, because they're supposed to provide the documents as requested, at least by the minority. Black has done the same on the
Well, if they are delaying,
so release the documents, so we do all this.
Yeah. But is the land, well, whether is the Land Commission, but it's important for this country that we look at the sales that have been done from Accra redevelopment. See the values.
Yeah.
But I don't think the values are determined by the minister or the president. Even though the sale is done in the name of the president, I don't think the president is the one who values it. It's the Land Commission. We need to find out, how do they come by those values? Because even those of us who are laymen, you would know that the land in cantonments should cost a certain, because you can look at their journey land, what they are going for. For me, that is the key. If you are going to talk about the sale, it's been sold to NPP people, it's been sold to NDC people. This, and if you don't provide the entire list, then if you are not careful, you've partisaned your debate, and then people will then become defensive. So let's have the list of sale from 1999. Which people, how much did they buy, clearly what should be the true valuation,
and we know,
can we have them make up for what they should have paid? Then we're having a national conversation.